Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, June 28, 2024. Jamaica has been removed from the grey list of countries that are assessed as having strategic deficiencies in their anti-money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism regimes. The Financial Action Task Force, FATF, announced the decision in a statement released on the conclusion of its plenary in Singapore earlier today. It praises Jamaica for having strengthened the effectiveness of its anti-money laundering regime to address the strategic deficiencies that the task force identified in February 2020 when Jamaica was placed on the grey list. As such, Jamaica is no longer subject to the organization's increased monitoring process. Transacting with FATF grey-listed countries is more expensive, as it signals to international financial and other institutions to take special care when transacting with entities and individuals from these countries. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says implementing the 13-point action plan agreed to after Jamaica was placed on the grey list has not been an easy process. In a statement from the ministry, he stresses that it has required painstakingly detailed and comprehensive work across the GOJ, mostly during the very demanding and difficult time of the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath. The minister, who is in Singapore for the Financial Action Task Force meetings, has pledged government's unwavering commitment to ensuring that Jamaica builds on this achievement. He adds that the administration will ensure that the country remains up to date with the latest global standards for addressing money laundering, the financing of terrorism, and proliferation financing. Jamaica is to assume the chairmanship of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force in December 2024, when the island hosts the organization's 59th plenary session. The government's Community Action for Rewarding Engagement CARE initiative to benefit young people will begin in September. Minister with responsibility for information, Senator Dana Morris-Dixon, says the program has been approved by Cabinet and preliminary work will be done over the summer. She was speaking at Wednesday's post-Cabinet press briefing.
Over 1,800 of our young people who are not in school, not in any training, that are not employed, will be able to benefit from this program. They will receive a $15,000 transport grant each month, and each week they will get a $13,000 stipend, which will allow them to do their training and also to be able to earn some money while they are doing the training.
Individuals will be drawn from the 63 constituencies, and each member of parliament will identify 30 persons using the selection parameters set by the program. CARE is being administered by the Heart NSTA Trust. It was first announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in his budget presentation in March. He revealed then that the aim was to upskill young persons and enable productivity and employability.
If our economy is to grow, we need every able-bodied man and woman who is able and capable of working to join the labor force. The program may not necessarily have to cater to intensive training, but more work readiness skills. And if that is the case, this will also be done quite easily. So this will do job placement, mentorship, and career guidance where necessary.
An agreement should soon be inked to help facilitate work towards instituting a paperless court system across the country. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck gave an update during the recent Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciary's Caribbean Conference held at the AC Marriott Hotel in Kingston.
We're about to enter into a bilateral agreement with the government of Rwanda, partnering with the company Synergy International Systems, to introduce technology for our court system to become paperless, thereby catapulting the operations of the court to world standards.
The minister says the multi-million-dollar project will begin this fiscal year.
We expect that this will cost somewhere in the region of $5 million United States dollars, or the equivalent of 780 million Jamaican dollars, for software and training over the next 2 years. Additional funds will be spent for the acquisition of appropriate hardware.
Meanwhile, Jamaica's justice system is operating more efficiently than at any other time in the nation's history. That's according to the Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck. He was addressing a recent social justice tour town hall held at the St. Matthew's Anglican Church in Santa Cruz. Minister Chuck highlights that the government has made concerted efforts to reduce case backlogs across the island's courts, with St. Elizabeth leading the way in clearing outstanding matters.
St. Elizabeth is doing a fantastic job in reducing the backlog. St. Elizabeth is actually #1 in terms of the reduction of backlog cases. The parish courts are doing a fantastic job to ensure that people have their dispute resolved speedily. And that is how it should be. Before long, we want most of the cases to be resolved within 9 months, so people know when you go to court, you better be ready.
The recent signing of a framework for cooperation between the Jamaican and United Kingdom governments could see the long-talked-about redevelopment of the National Stadium progress to the implementation stage. Sport Minister Olivia Grange says the National Stadium is listed as one of the priority projects to be addressed under the framework. Following its signing, a team of architects and project managers from the UK held discussions with the Sport Ministry and subsequently submitted a proposal for renovation and redevelopment of facilities at Independence Park, particularly the National Stadium.
The document, Mr. Speaker, in essence, proposes to not only address the shortcomings of the existing stadium, but also to identify through qualitative and quantitative assessment the full potential of this iconic stadium through its enhancement as a major tournament venue, training center, and visitor attraction to promote Jamaica and Jamaican sporting talent.
She says the ministry has accepted the proposal and relayed that to the Ministry of Finance, which is to finalize the funding agreement and release funds in short order. That will allow for the start of Phase 1 of the development, which is the Stadium Assessment Feasibility Study. Minister Grange says groundbreaking for the redevelopment of the stadium is projected to take place in August 2025. In the meantime, special funding of $75 million is being requested from the Ministry of Finance to address urgent lighting infrastructure at the stadium.
This remedial work must be completed by September of this year for the stadium to meet the FIFA requirements for international matches that are scheduled to be played at the office in the 2nd and 3rd week of September.
Minister Grange provided the update on Tuesday during her sectoral debate presentation in Parliament. And finally, more than 45 students from the corporate area will benefit from the Creative Language-Based Learning CLBL Foundation Summer Camp this year. It's thanks to a generous donation of $4.5 million raised during the EU 5K 10K run walk staged in March. The proceeds from the event will fund CLBL summer camps at the St. Andrew, Edward Seaga, and Holy Family primary schools. These are primarily aimed at improving the students' literacy and numeracy skills. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams has welcomed the initiative as a valuable addition to her ministry's efforts to address weaknesses in literacy.
Educators all over the world are being constantly challenged to refine existing methodologies or develop new ones to meet the many needs of their student populations, and this effort will help in that regard.
She was speaking at a recent ceremony to officially hand over the funds. Chairman of the CLBL Foundation, Joseph Matalon, explains that the learning sessions are designed to give students a head start for the new school year.
The participating teachers will actually nominate participating students from their September 24 classes. These students will first go through an assessment process, identifying their strengths and weaknesses, followed by 50 hours of instruction, providing the opportunity to close any learning gaps and certainly increase their learning level by at least 1 grade during the summer.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.